Hey, Brown Beauties. Welcome to Well Honestly, the podcast, sponsored by Brown Women Wellness. I'm Andretta, a functional nutrition wellness coach.
And I'm Akila. We are your mother-daughter hosts, bringing two different generations together weekly to educate you on all things related to health, nutrition, financial, and mental wellness during these changing times.
Once we know what choices we have, we can do better because we know the struggle to stay healthy is real.
We invite you to come as you are, but leave inspired to become your best healthy self. So let's get started. And we're back.
Well, where have you been is the question.
You know, where has everyone been lately? First of all, hello, everybody.
Hello to our podcast audience, because we've been missing in action. We were MIA for about a month.
What has it been a month?
It's been a month, and we do apologize to you because it was an unannounced month off.
Yeah, it was. It was. And we've never done that since we've been podcasting for almost a year. Do you believe it's almost been a year?
It's been almost a year. We've never taken off like that before, and we got to tell them why we took off and what was going on, because we owe it to our audience to let them keep up with us, and we're gonna also tell them about some lessons we may have learned during our time off.
Well, before we do that, shout out to you and your Tuskegee head to the toe garments.
Oh yes, this is well, by the time this episode airs, it'll be over. But this happens to be my alumni, Tuskegee University's homecoming weekend.
Yeah,
And-
you're repping
And in their
strong.
honor, I thought I would, let me turn around for the camera to see.
I can't.
I am
I
Tuskegee
cannot.
down.
I mean,
So for all my Skiggy outs out there, and I know y'all out there, I just thought I'd give you a shout out.
girl,
Are you mad?
no, I didn't get the memo. So let me turn to the camera in my black and cream. Hello, repping nothing.
HBCU proud. That's
Okay,
all.
listen, I'm here for. At least I shouted it out. The people who are listening won't be able to see this, but if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. She got all coordinating down, red lip. I don't know who she thinks she is, child.
Oh yeah, it's like that today.
Well, so do you want to talk about where you've been?
I think you should start this out.
I mean, let's see. I don't know if I even said anything on our last podcast, but I'm officially moved back to Chicago.
Welcome back.
That move happened very quickly, and I had a lot going on in the midst of actually moving back to Chicago. So I ended up within the same couple of weeks that I got here going to New York. And then that took a time, and just trying to like get my bearings with everything, with the career, with the move, and all this and all that. Next thing you know, here we are a month later. So really that's kind of been all. I don't have much else besides that, really.
Well, you left out something very important.
What's that?
This is your birthday month.
Oh, this is true.
This is your birthday
This is
month.
true.
And by the time this airs, your birthday will be over. Now, let me just tell the audience what happened. How did this get to be? I love telling the story.
Wait, what?
She was born on
Oh God.
October 31st, which is Halloween.
Okay, Mom.
And
All right.
let me tell you, people, I did everything I could to try to hold her in. I did not want her born on that day.
I don't know why not. It's just a day.
Well, I didn't want you to share that birthday with Halloween.
Oh,
So
girl.
I told the nurses, and I said, I'm going to hold her in as long as I can. And they were like, good luck with that. And sure enough, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 3:00 in the morning.
I was born 12:39 a.m.
12:39. Oh, I didn't make it.
You did
I
not.
almost made
You
it.
almost did.
So that was what
about 39 minutes late.
I tried. And here you are.
And here I am.
So you've had a birthday month, and usually during your birthday month, you feel some kind of way. You go through a few little metamorphoses and changes.
Metamorphosis and changes. I typically do a lot of reflecting, and I go very insular. So some people, they go very much so like, I'm having parties here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Me, 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 me. I don't really do that. I'm not really attention seeking. I like to do things, but I'm not out here trying to throw all these extravaganzas. But I do tend to go inward and just get not melancholy at all, but just get reflective on the year and the times and things like that. And since I'm turning 35,
That was my next question. Why don't you tell the audience how old you're
girl,
gonna be?
ain't no shame in my
Oh
game.
yeah, if you're 35, I must be
Since
45. So
Right, that because that makes all the sense. You would be 10 years older than me, correct?
I tried.
Child. But no, since I'm turning 35, and that's a pretty big milestone because I remember when I was 30. So it's just time is flying. So I'm just doing a lot of reflecting and, just getting my life,
I remember
you
when I
know?
was 35. Okay, so
No, where have you been?
for me, interestingly enough, well, this is my second career, so I have the primary career, and it has been on steroids, and so it keeps me really busy. But in the midst of all of that, I also had to take care. I had got a call. As most of you know, I'm from originally born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama, and my father is near and dear to me. He's 93 years old, but I don't have your normal 93-year-old father. I
No.
have a 93-year-old father that was still riding his 10-speed bicycle. He get at night, he would get on the floor and do leg exercises and little push-ups and stuff like that to keep himself going. So to get a phone call on a Saturday saying that they admitted him into the hospital. Naturally, I dropped everything I was doing and got on the airplane and went to Montgomery, and of course, being a functional nutritionist, I took a different perspective. And I'll be honest with you guys, I absolutely hate hospitals. Okay. And I don't know anybody out here that really love
Yeah.
hospitals, but I have a disdain for them. And I had to really get myself together because um, going to Montgomery was pretty melancholy for me. Going to that hospital, I had a previous bad experience there because my mother actually passed in the same exact hospital that my father was in. And so I had to sit down, take myself out of it, go through a whole thought process so that I could appear and show up for my father and his wife. My father's wife is a retired registered nurse. And so she is I always call her the nightingale of nurses. You don't find too many nurses like her anymore. So the experience of walking into the hospital and you have a retired nurse and your father and the whole hospital environment was very different. Um, but it was interesting because I actually after I resigned myself to the experience, I threw myself into what could I do to help my dad from a nutritional standpoint. Now, you got to remember, older people, they don't take to change very well,
No.
and they believe in whatever their doctor says.
Yes.
And there were many doctors, by the way. And you're in a hospital, you got many people, many staff, many nurses, many doctors. Come, yeah.
Which to shoot people bail, why wouldn't they believe? They didn't go to medical school, so they have no idea about anything different.
And they really don't. But the thing is, when something doesn't shift after hundreds and hundreds of years, you would think there would be some. And don't get me wrong, we have had some changes, okay? But there are just little small changes. And I'll give you a good example. They were giving him a pill for everything. When he didn't have an appetite, they had to give him a pill to increase his appetite. They gave him a pill to move his bowels, and they had to give him a pill to stop his bowels. They had to give him a pill for pain, and then there was too little pain. So everything was a pill, a pill, a pill, a pill. So, you know, I one of the things that propelled me into nutrition was the experience I had with my mother. Watching that process made me want to learn more about nutrition. How can we heal ourselves with food? And what can we do to keep our bodies in a good operating condition past the age of no return. You know,
Right.
everybody wants to be, I mean, it's one thing to age, but it's another thing to age and still be functional.
Yeah.
And so my father, up until that time, walking in fact, he didn't even realize he was that sick. Nobody did. But until he walked into that hospital, he had been calling me on everyday basis. We'd have long conversations. My dad had great mind. Everything was just functioning very well. So to see my father laying there, you know, it took a lot out of me. But one of the things I was able to do, and this was the beautiful part, I was able to put together a smoothie. He wasn't drinking or eating anything. His appetite was gone. And I said, well, let me, because they had not diagnosed him, by the way. They kept saying he had an infection, but they couldn't figure out where this infection was coming from, how he got it. I have my theories, but I'm not going to share them. But at the same time, you know, there was they were giving him. He just it was just nothing was. Let me put it to you like this: nothing they were giving him was working. Okay, so I said, okay. One of the things I know, whenever a person is sick, one of the things they need to do is move their bowels. Can I say that?
I don't know why you're asking
Okay,
me. We
okay.
had a whole episode on
Yeah, we
that.
did. Okay. That's the most important thing that you can do because that's how you let the toxins out of your body. And
Mhm.
that was something that he was unable to do and had not been able to do in about 3 to 4 days. And so it was causing him a lot of pain. My father was in a lot of pain. And so I went together and put together an anti-inflammation smoothie, and also they finally said that he had gout. And for those of you who don't know what gout is a form of arthritis. And it's a form where uric acid has built up in your body. And it's very painful from what I'm told. And it can go to any part of your body. Who knows where it's going to land? Most people get it in their foot, a toe, usually in the lower part of your body.
Mhm.
So they decided to diagnose him with that because, again, they had ran every test in America and couldn't figure out where the pain was coming from.
That
So,
is one of the most frustrating things when you like in the hospital or you see a loved one in the hospital and they're complaining and there's something going on and they run every test in America to say, "Oh, well, it's not that. We don't know what like how do you not know?"
and they had about 4 specialists. They called in every specialist they could think
That's
of.
frustrating.
Yeah, it was very frustrating. So anyway, I went and made the smoothie, came back. Of course, you know, I had to force my father to drink it because one of the first things came out of his mouth, and he calls me Retta, by the way. Don't nobody else out there ever call me that. Okay, I'm just letting you know that's a family name, Retta. So anyway,
Okay.
he said, he said, Retta, I don't want no. And his wife was over there, and I made her one too, and she said she tasted. She said, it doesn't taste bad because you know I disguised all of the active ingredients.
But let's be clear here. Had I think I might have said something to you like, "Please make it taste good."
And I did.
Because you wouldn't have done that for real. And she has a tendency to think everybody has this old, super strong taste bud palate that she has, and that's not the
Well,
case.
no, I knew my
I'm glad
father.
that you pivoted like
I
that.
did. The base of it was tart cherry, and I put some blueberries in there, and but the ingredient that really did the work, and it was apple cider vinegar and some organic raw honey. So think about it. Those things are nice. Those are really nice things that taste pretty good. You throw it over in some, almond milk or something. Put some ice in it, churn it up, took it in there. He sipped it. Okay. He took a little more. Okay. My brother called, said, "Take it, Daddy." He took some more. Then he said, "I don't want any more." I said, "Okay, fine." 2 hours passed. I said, "Daddy, I need you to drink a little bit more." He drank it. And how about this? The next day, he had I hate to say this word,
A
but
bowel
he had a
movement.
bowel movement.
He had a bowel movement.
And he also started feeling better. Now, I'm not going to say that was the cure all, of course, but it helped. Okay.
Mhm.
And he had a lot of, because he was taking a lot of medication, and he
Mhm.
started feeling better. His healing process began. It's amazing what food can do. A lot of people don't realize that the healing power of food is one of the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing.
Well,
Okay.
I just think that the takeaway from this is my grandfather is recovering slowly.
Yes.
So that's the outcome of
Yes.
everything currently.
Yes.
However, I think it's I've been sitting back thinking about this, and it's like, sometimes like you said, food is powerful.
Mhm.
And I can't, if I sit and think about the fact that what if he didn't have that and he would be suffering from constipation, he wouldn't
Mhm.
have been eating.
Mhm.
A lot more things probably would have went wrong because again, when you're older, honestly, it's like that in general when you go into a hospital with something wrong, 'cause sometimes it becomes a spiral effect.
Mhm.
But when you're older, especially in your 90s, your 80s and all that jazz,
Mhm.
one thing can push that domino effect all the way down. So the fact that you came in with like some type of counter,
Mhm.
I just wish that, and anybody listening, I just wish that more people would do that. Like, think about giving nutrition to those who are in the hospital as they're going through, their issues or their test or their whatever the case may be, because that was a balance.
Well, the
What you
thing
created was balance.
well, what happened, I was glad, first of all, number 1, I could get in the hospital.
Well,
That's
that's true.
okay, because during these times, a lot of people can't even visit their, loved ones in the
Correct.
hospital, but I was able to get into the hospital, by God's grace, thank you, Jesus, and, so that was because when I went down there, honestly, I didn't know if they were gonna let me in, because of all the COVID restrictions and stuff,
But
so
they did.
but I was able to get in. Every day, I was able to visit him, watch him get stronger and stronger over the time, and I'm happy to say that, he is recovering, and then you look at the foods that the hospital feed,
Well, they feed you the exact thing that makes you
well,
sicker.
they give you a menu and they tell you to pick off the menu, but here you got a man with, gout, supposedly, and you got uric acid, and you know
And giving them dairy.
that there thank you. There are
Yeah.
foods that you should not be eating
That aggravate things.
if that is what the case is.
Yeah.
So, and
The
Ensure, oh my God, they were feeding him Ensure, that was killing me. And so,
That's the go-to.
yeah, but anyway, he's recovering. That's kind of what took me out for the last 3 weeks. And
The takeaway, the takeaway. I think it's powerful what you're saying. If people really just sit and listen to you, is that you literally see it's called preventative measures, but then also if you're put in a situation where it's not about prevention, it's about action taking. There's nothing wrong with just helping your body with a little bit more greenery, a
yeah,
smoothie,
yeah.
sea moss,
Food.
something,
Yeah.
anything than just getting some
Oh my
cottage cheese
God, the
and
food.
Sure and all the rest of this crap that they're giving you in the hospital. Because think about this for a second. Why are they giving you food that does nothing for you, but they're putting you on all the medicine that is quote
It's
unquote,
counterintuitive.
it's very counterintuitive.
Yes.
It's extremely counterintuitive.
Yes.
So, take the medicines and the pills, but if you don't have no green juice or smoothie, have somebody advocate and go get that for you.
And
There's nothing wrong with
and
that.
thank God he had 2 people advocating for him, his wife and me, and trust me,
Advocates are
the
important.
staff knew it, and, we were watching them like a hawk, even
Yeah.
to the point of
And you have to.
yeah.
And that's another thing too, real quick before we move on, with older people. And I am thankful for you, for Linda, his wife,
Mhm.
just to have sound mind and to be advocates because these hospitals kill older people.
Yes, they do. They don't care about them.
That's how they kill them.
Yes.
And that's just the flat out truth of the matter. They may not
Yes.
do it intentionally,
Right.
but they're not doing anything above and beyond measures
Nope.
that they could do
Exactly.
because you over here 83, 98
Yes.
years old and they
Yes.
thinking this is the end of the road anyway. And
Exactly.
that is unfortunate, but it is the truth of the matter. So anybody listening out there, advocate for
Advocate.
yourself, for
Eh,
your people,
yeah.
and don't you ever let anybody unintentionally kill you or anybody else off.
And if you go in a hospital, please have an advocate because you need someone there.
You
And
have
and here's
to.
the sad part with COVID, a lot of people in hospitals dying alone with no advocates because they don't allow anybody in.
Yeah, well,
So I'll be so glad when this time is over. But now we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk. We have a new segment called the Product Swap of the Week. And when we come back, we're going to do that segment and then we're going to peace out. Thank you.
Do you want to bulletproof your immune system to fight viruses during cold and flu season? A cup of Be Well immunity can keep the doctor away and keep that immune system at optimal levels. There are 8 well-crafted, organic, hand-picked herbs that will do just that. Go to brownwomenwellness.com and get 15% off your next purchase using code WellHonest15. And we're back.
So today's product, and this is something we're going to do every week, so you guys don't get to see and listen
Yeah, let's
to.
introduce this real quick. So, what is this that you're saying to us that you're gonna help us swap out products?
So you know how we cook or we eat, and we can eat and cook pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is to find something that is good for our bodies and still be tasty and swap it out for a healthier ingredient. So we're going to take a bad ingredient away and add a healthy ingredient. And it could be an ingredient or it could be a food. Okay. So today's we're going to talk about the vegetable oil versus our healthy oils.
Okay, so
Oil.
vegetable oil.
Yeah, vegetable oil.
Like, so let me.
Saturated fats,
Okay,
bad fat, good fat.
I'm gonna be the bad cop. You be the good cop
Okay,
because
cool.
it's one thing to just say that, but you kind of break that down a little bit,
Okay,
right?
okay.
Because from where I'm from, growing up, I did not know that there was that like vegetable oil was a bad thing. I didn't know that Crisco was that bad, shortening. I didn't know that corn or what is it?
Corn
Corn
oil,
oil. You got to start naming these oils.
sunflower oil,
Most
canola
people with
oil.
canola is the main culprit.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that those oils aren't good for me. Why?
Those are called seed oils. And so those are the oils that most black people use for frying fish, chicken, and everything else that we do.
Yes.
Okay. And those are unsaturated fats.
What's an
Okay.
unsaturated
So
fat?
unsaturated fat is most, and I'm gonna put it to you like this. How can I put it? It's a bad fat. It's a trans fat. It causes heart disease and obesity. It's one of those fats that you see it in most of the snacks, baked goods, processed food. It's vegetable seed oils. They're just not good
Well, the
oils.
unsaturated fat, what happens too is that it tends to oxidize when heated.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens to that is that those oxidations that happen within those molecules once it's heated and we use it for deep frying and all that
Mm-hmm.
causes inflammation within the body.
Mm-hmm.
So over time, this is where you start getting all that hard buildup called plaque in your arteries and all the rest of those things. So it starts from one thing and it trickles down to the other. So that's the root cause of why this oil isn't good. Because let's keep it funky now.
There's no vegetables in vegetable oil, by
Absolutely
the way.
not. And also, we're never gonna not fry our food.
Right.
But so if we're never not gonna fry our food, we need to change how we fry our food.
And that's the point of making this swap. That's why we
Correct.
call it a swap. So there is another way we can fry our food, and it is with avocado oil.
Come on and give us the tea now.
Avocado oil. And let me tell you why. It has a high heat point. Okay. And it has an ideal fat profile that'll help you maximize the nutrition from your food. It's packed with 20 vitamins and minerals, including vitamin E and magnesium. Your body needs that.
I want to say this. That's key. It has a high smoke point. Why is that important? Because again, if you go back to unsaturated fats, and if you even we'll talk about EVOO, extra virgin olive oil, in a second. But if it has a low smoke point and you got that bad boy on that eye, that iron,
you have created a carcinogen.
That's where the oxidation starts to come in, y'all. And
yes,
that is when that oil is nothing but rancid
in your body.
oil.
In your body.
So it's important to know that certain oils have certain smoke points and they can't go past that. Otherwise, it's not even oil anymore.
Exactly. And
it's a big old vat of cancer.
And will you please tell your people to stop frying in olive oil?
You was getting to my point.
Okay.
Olive oil is not a frying oil.
No.
It cannot go past, I think I want to say it's 350 or 320, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a very low smoke point because, again, olive oil is used for like salad dressings.
Correct.
And people dip things
sauteing,
in them,
yes,
and all that.
Yes.
So I don't know where we got this whole frying and olive oil thing from.
Because somebody told us olive oil was good for it, which it
is. But we gonna fry everything, right?
Right. And if you go to the grocery store right now and you look on the shelves, you see the olive oil on the shelf where all of your oils are for frying takes up about 3/4 of the oils.
Yeah, they lying to y'all. Listen, do not fry your food in olive oil.
And so it's making people think it's healthy, yes, but not for the reasons that they are that you believe that it's healthy.
We can make something if something can be healthy, and we can make it unhealthy. So two things can be true at the same time.
So what we're saying here today, the swap is we're going to not use those unhealthy seed oils like vegetable oils, canola oil, sunflower oil, or misuse
certain oils.
Olive oil, we're not going to misuse, but avocado oil is very versatile.
Yes.
And you're starting to see it on the shelf. If you go and look on the shelf, you'll see, usually it's up on the top or the very bottom because people are not hip to it yet.
Not yet.
But it's coming. Okay. But you can find it there. I have my favorite link, and I'll link it in the show notes to one that I like to use by Ava Jane Kitchen. I don't have a code for it, but I do love that particular avocado oil.
Well, I personally love avocado oil, and for those who are listening, like avocado oil, honestly, you don't taste the difference.
You really don't.
It has a bit of a nuttier smell to it. That's because, again, it is a seed-based avocado oil.
Correct.
So, but the food to me tastes the same, and it's lighter.
It is.
If you don't want to use avocado oil, like maybe you're allergic for some reason, grapeseed oil is another one people use. It has a high smoke point as well. Grapeseed oil,
coconut oil.
Well,
I don't like
grapeseed oil. Me neither. Grapeseed oil is a lighter. It literally has a lighter consistency. The smoke point is not as high as avocado oil, so that oil can burn a little. It burns faster, I should say.
Correct.
There is a difference between the way that they cook. If you want to experiment in the kitchen, y'all, like let's say you're on this journey going into like the new year, you want to start to do something different and all these type of things. Buy grapeseed oil, buy avocado oil, buy yourself some chicken if you eat chicken or whatever it is that you eat, like that you like to fry, and just experiment one day. Try the avocado oil one day and then try the grapeseed oil and compare. Don't change anything else that you do. Just change the oils.
Right.
I can guarantee you will not see that much of a difference. The only difference you'll see is that the food will taste lighter. You'll feel lighter, and you're treating yourself better.
And that's a step toward wellness.
That's it.
All right. We're going to close this out.
All right. Listen, follow us on all social media platforms at Brown Women Wellness. We also have our own platform for Well Honestly, the podcast on Instagram. Email us, info@brownwomenwellness.com. Let us know any type of topics, conversation pieces that you guys want to hear from us, or if you want to complain or shout to the rooftops how happy and excited you are that things have changed for you with your health, let us know that as well. We are here for all of the good stuff.
And don't forget, you can find us on YouTube now.
Yes, you can. Brown Women Wellness.
Yes. So look for us on YouTube and brownwomenwellness.com.
All right. We'll talk later. Bye.
Bye. Are you tired of being tired? Are you aching, have pain in unexplained places? At the root of all diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure and many more is chronic inflammation. There are 10 wild-crafted organic hand-picked herbs in the Be Well anti-inflammation tea that will help calm those flames. Go to brownwomenwellness.com and get 15% off by putting in the code WellHonest15.